Yo, what up, people? Jeff Logan here, Becoming the Beast podcast. You already know this is a quick rant. I am on my phone recording this. All right, it was on my mind. Got to get it out. Let's go. Let's rock this. Don't know what episode this is, but we're in the 20s now. We're in the 20s. Thanks for rocking with me. Make sure you have your mind open when you come here. If it's not, get the fuck out of here. We don't want you to listen. Yo, check it out. So I saw this meme, right? Everybody's living their lives through memes and getting their data, their information through memes. So I saw a meme that said, well, it was kind of like an informational thing. It said, it's this like masculinity page, right? It's like, oh, a man should test drive every single car and type and body style before he makes a decision on driving a car for the rest of his life, which equals and means, a man for trying out women if he's into women, or if you're into dudes, whatever you're into, just your significant others. You should try a bunch of people out before you make a decision on this one thing. And honestly, I think it's soft. I think that's fear. I think that's not masculine at all. Because first of all, motherfucker, you don't know how to drive every car. Okay? So how the fuck you gonna test drive it? There's some cars that you can't step foot into because you're not in that realm yet. You're not vibrating with that big energy yet. You just can't wake up in the morning if you're a low vibrating bum ass individual, from thinking to finances to who you hang around to your habits to your actions to everything, and just hop in a Bugatti. You're not doing that shit, or especially not one of the new ones that just came out. Because first of all, the motherfuckers are sold out. Second of all, you can't get your hands on one, So that makes me think like this. First of all, why are we comparing women to cars? Second of all, why aren't we taking any accountability for the driver itself? Because like I said, some people do not have access to those type of cars. Some people will never have access to those type of cars because of what they do, what they repeatedly do. They're not on the level of those vehicles. But let's keep it vehicles, right? So you're talking about, okay, so I've owned a Lamborghini Huracan, not an Evo, but just a regular Lamborghini Huracan, regular. Look at me, right? So regular Lamborghini Huracan, and I've owned a 458. So do you know how to get those in first gear? Don't Google it. If I sat your ass right in the car, do you know how to get in first gear? Some people, the answer is no. So how could you say, oh, bro, you got to test drive every car before you make a decision on the kind of car you want for the rest of your life? First of all, like I said, women are not cars. Second of all, let's take accountability to the driver. What are you doing to make yourself better? What did I have to do to even get in the driver's seat of that fucking car, to daily drive it, to know what it feels like, to know how to get it in first, to know that you put your foot on the brake and then you hit the paddle shifter and then it puts it in first gear? Right? Some people will be fumbling around, boom, you lost the race. So I want you to hold yourself accountable for, first of all, a lot of people don't even know where the fuck they're going. So if you don't know where you're going, you don't know what type of terrain you're going to encounter. So if you don't know where you're going, what type of terrain you're going to encounter, how could the fuck could you know what type of vehicle you need? Right? Because I believe you need to be with the person you need to be with. Not the person you necessarily want to be with, the person you need to be with. Because a lot of people want the Bugatti. They want a private plane. You want a private plane, but you don't know how to fly it. Like a single pilot plane. Or you want a helicopter but don't know how to fly it. So that helicopter will sit in the yard and collect dust and get rusty. So I just felt like that meme didn't hold people accountable. It was just like, oh yeah, like some masculine puff your chest out shit. And it wasn't masculine at all, because like I said, a lot of people don't know where they're going, don't know what terrain they're going to encounter, and don't know what type of vehicle they need, and aren't equipped to drive the type of vehicle they need. The woman, the significant other, the spouse of your dreams. And again, I'm not trying to play gender roles, so don't try to crucify me for that shit. I'm just talking about, I'm speaking in terms of men and women, because that's my preference, right? So everything is partial to me. So don't take this and he wasn't respecting my gender, and man, I don't give a fuck what bathroom you go in. I don't give a fuck what you do with your private parts at nighttime. Listen, you need to equip yourself. You need to know where you're going. And sometimes you're not even ready for the type of vehicle that you need to encounter the type of terrain that you're going to encounter. So don't come at me with no aimless ass, misguided ass, simp ass, young-minded ass, immature ass motherfucker who's making demands about test driving all these vehicles, and they feel entitled to test drive all these vehicles, all these women. Because I tell you what, the dude, quote unquote, test driving all these women, you can get an STD. Not sexually transmitted, spiritually transmitted. Everything's energy. You ever been around somebody or in a realm energetically, in a place, in an environment, and felt like it brought your vibration down? Are you vibrating? How high are you vibrating at? It's time to take accountability for your actions, for your movements, for everything. And like I said, know where you're going. Define a purpose. If you don't know your purpose, make one up. Go full speed ahead in that purpose. And if that don't work, hop on another purpose. That's the beautiful thing about being a human. You're a divine extension of the non-physical in a physical realm. You're expressing heaven in terms of earth. Yeah. So you get to pick and choose. A tree, he's always going to be a tree. A dog is always going to be a dog. You might learn some tricks and all that stuff, but like there's no like real true progression because they're kind of stuck vibrating at the same frequency that they're always stuck on. We get to choose it. We get to choose it every single second of every single day. All I'm doing is ranting to say that you should hold yourself accountable. Get rid of that entitlement, and you have to look internally and do the self-work. Do the self-work on the physical, on the mental, on the emotional. Every single component of you needs to be worked on, because that entitlement, like, you're not entitled to shit. You're not entitled to anything. You get out what you put in, nothing more. It's a cold hard fact. So when I see a meme like that, or these alpha pages, granted they're trying to like save masculinity, save the alpha, bro, fuck yeah, I understand it, I get it, I feel it on some of them, but that one I was like, nah bro, you're gonna have these dudes read that shit once, not take any accountability internally, and go, I'm going to test drive some women. It sounds so fucking dumb. There's nothing alpha, there's nothing macho about that. Because the way you grow and build is creating a family structure. It's procreating, creating more kids, creating more divine extensions of you in the physical, right? I have 3 of them. My 1-year-old just had a birthday. My 3-year-old's birthday's coming up. And then my 14-year-old's going to turn 15, finally can take the fucking plane alone. Yeah, baby. And granted, I was at 3 different mindsets, having my children. But I would not tell them to test drive all types and kinds of women before they pick their person. I would say make yourself whole from every angle. Literally, this is MBM. This is no beast mode. This is the ideology behind it. Be a beast in everything that you do. Everything that you encounter. How you do anything is how you do everything, and vice versa. Said it in previous podcasts. I'm going to start doing more podcasts, because sometimes I don't have my podcast set up and I can't use that as an excuse, because I'm even taking inventory on my damn self. So I'm like, oh man, this is a good thought. This is a good rant. And it would help some people, because like this is very misleading. And, we live in this oversexed world, and, sex is so easily accessible, and it's just everywhere. And it's just, you open your social media, and it's just all over the place. And people's posts are getting more and more and more daring and racy and pushing the, envelope and shit. So I'm just like, I don't want my guys, because I have a very large following of males. Got my ladies in here too. Whatever, like I said, whatever gender you feel like being today. I'll never limit you, and I'll never judge you, because I have an open mind, and that's how I stay at peace, by non-judgment, personal non-judgment. Because I'm judging this meme for sure, 100% judging it, don't agree with it, don't like it, fucking hate it. And like I said, it goes for ladies too. You're not about to be quote unquote test driving people. You're gonna raise yourself up to a level of vibration where you're whole, where you're fulfilling your purpose, you're fulfilling your destiny, and you get to choose. You get to choose what you want. You get to choose what serves you, what you deserve, what you've worked for, what you've grown yourself into, because you have to bring things to the table as well. It's not some one-sided, entitled, I'm going to sit on this mountain and you're going to serve me type of thing. Like, 1, that's selfish. 2, that's not how relationships work. It's give and take, it's compromise. It's back and forth. It's an exchange. It's an exchange. It's not something for nothing. I'm going to sit back and test drive. No, that's corny. You're not going to see any success like that. You're not going to see any success like that. Like I said, how desirable are you, Mr. Test Drive, Mrs. Test Drive? How desirable are you? Got your shit together? You still struggling? You still in the club? You still don't know where you're going? How the fuck you going to know what kind of car you need? So what about, you talk about like a 4x4, or like even me, when we talk about vehicles, I've daily driven a Hummer H1, old school joint. Not the military issue, but the civilian one that Arnold Schwarzenegger made possible. Shout out to Arnie, Uncle Arnie, my G. Speaking of Uncle Will, somebody commented that on my page, Uncle Will, because I said that in a previous podcast, and I'm presenting on the same stage, the same podium as this man, Manifestation. Anyway, we'll talk about that. That's a whole nother podcast. Also, the Lamborghini, whole nother podcast, like how I got stolen. And I'm gonna do it. I promise I'm gonna do it, but I'm putting that one on video. No excuses for that. But it is a whole nother podcast. Daily driven Hummer H1. Daily driven Lamborghini Huracan. Those are on 2 opposite sides of the spectrum. And when you figure out what you need, when you know where you're going, because if you're going to go through a swamp, if you're going to go through a storm, if you're going to go through something, some type of terrain that is very iffy, that is very unpredictable, you do not want a Lamborghini for that. Trust me, they look great. But I'll tell you what, when I was living on the 30-acre farm, there was a storm, and them fucking trees got down, and I went out just to get something very simple, because the power was out. I went to go grab something from the store. The store was down the street. There was a tree down. That Ferrari does not go over trees. It don't. You think for $250,000 that it can, like, you press a button and it just hovers over the tree and you can just fly above traffic? It don't. So now how practical is it turning your ass around, parking it back into the driveway? For a race, it's great. It's great. It's beautiful. But for that type of terrain, it's no, it's not. It's not good at all. And plus, like I said, you have to equip yourself into someone that can even operate this vehicle. So let's put some accountability on the operator and less emphasis on, oh, you need to test drive all these different type of vehicles, bro, before you settle down with one car for the rest of your life. First of all, it ain't one car. And even if it was, because like I said, a woman is not a fucking car, and that's super disrespectful, and I hate that even to compare that. But the meme did, so we're staying on brand of this meme that I dislike. And you could flip it and say you need to experience people, but I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about holding yourself accountable, because it skips over the accountability. Even if you did, so you would pick well, right? I agree with that, picking well. But like I said, you also have to create yourself and become a person who can even drive in these different type of terrains. It's not always sunny. It does get rainy, it does get muddy. Can you drive in those type of terrains? Can you increase the likelihood of surviving in those type of terrains with equipping your vehicle? Do you know how to drive like that? Oh, I don't know how to drive in this mud. It's too hard. I don't know what to do in this snow. I don't know. I'm sliding. I'm just going to abandon the vehicle. You got your snow tires in the back. You got this. You got that. You got the 4x. You got the. What do you got? So, like I said, take inventory on yourself before you start pointing the finger at the world, blaming the world for being inadequate, blaming the world for being, oh, I'm gonna test drive all these vehicles before I settle down with one. And first of all, it's not fucking settling. Anything that's adding value to your life is not settling. Anything that you're adding value to is not settling for you. Things should always be adding. And if it's subtracting, oh, you need to depart from it. And if it's not adding nor subtracting and it's just kind of there, it's subtracting, sorry. You could dance around. I'm not here to dance around. I'm not your friend. I'm not your homeboy. I'm here for you to level up. I'm here for you to apply the knowledge and level up and have a different perspective on things. That's it. That's all I ask for this podcast. We don't really do guests like that. I'm not showing my face right now. I am traveling in a hotel right now, and I don't have my podcast set up. This is my phone. Thank God for iPhones and the accessibility and, this app to make it super easy to, I could just boom, upload. Yeah. Open your brain up, apply the knowledge to your life, become a thinker, become better, become yourself. This is Jeff Logs, quick travel rant, much love. Test drive. Let's place less emphasis on these type of vehicles you're quote unquote test driving and more emphasis on the driver. Speed down your lane. Yo, real quick, all the links are in my bio or in the description. You can go to my link pop link, and in that description, you'll see my social medias. You'll see my supplement company, Become Nutrition. You'll see my clothing company, No Beast Mode Apparel. You will see my training app, loganperformance.app. You'll see everything in there, my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, and shout out to my subscriber gang that are paying that $4.99 a month. Like I said, it's cheaper than coffee, baby. And coffee ain't gonna, hey, you're gonna sip that hot cup of greatness, but it ain't gonna give you this. It ain't gonna talk to you. I guarantee you that, Much love, and y'all be putting too many motherfucking sweeteners in the shit anyway. Anywho, I'll see you later. I'll see you next podcast. Much love. Logs.